Welcome back, my name is Tomislav, and in this video I will show you what I think is probably the easiest way to sharpen a spindle gouge, and it's freehand. It doesn't involve any jigs or anything, just involves two motions, and that is rotating and dropping the handle a little bit, and you will get this kind of profile, which at the end of the video you will see how it performs. And it's, again, I believe it's really easy and anybody can do it, and if you are on a budget or you're just starting out, I believe this is a great technique or a sharpening strategy to involve, and it's a great skill building that not only produces results on the grinder but also on the lathe here. So let's go to a grinder. We are now at the grinder, and now this is Record Power RSBG8 model. This is upgrade to 8-inch or 200mm diameter CBN wheel. Now this one is stated by the manufacturer that it's 120 grit B92 code or B97, something like that, but I did find on some other site that reference to 180 grit CBN wheel. So it's a pretty fine wheel, maybe a bit too fine for my liking, but does the job quite well. Now this spindle gouge here, as you can see, it has this sort of a factory edge on it. It's not sharp by any means. You cannot do meaningful work straight from the package with this one. So what I like to do first is just grab this is, let's see, 240 grit used cloth bag sandpaper, push it into the flute like this, and just polish up a flute a little bit more. Now manufacturers do polish this up quite good, most of them, and doesn't have to be mirror glass. It doesn't do us any good, but I do want to polish it up ever so slightly. Now I hope you can see that's much better. Now I have here this Scotch-Brite pad as well, so you can push that in. This is finer one, 400 grit. Just do a few strokes. So that's it. So that's ready to be used now. Now to put fingernail profile on this, there's many ways. You can go up the wheel like so, you can go to the side like this. So I'll show you my way, and also this is what I would think is much simpler way sharpening without any jigs or anything. Now I could remove this, but then I wouldn't have somewhere to rest my hand on. So that's why I like to use a platform, let's say, and I rarely sharpen off the platform unless it's a skew, maybe a scraper, although scrapers I tend to keep them on the edge of the platform like this and sharpen. And like I said, the skews, I mostly use the platform for the skews. And off we go. So I'll talk you through what I'm doing. Just let the grinder up to speed. So the way I like to extend the wings a little bit further back is place both wings on the wheel like so, and swing. Do this a few times and you will see now the profile. You see all these shiny spots? That's all the metal that we have to remove, and we have a little fingernail profile. If we compare this to my fingernail, although it's not as pretty as the one on the right, but you get the idea. But I want to extend this a little bit more. There we go. So that's pretty good. So now we want to remove some of this excess metal on the side. Now I like to use a coarser wheel for this. This one just takes a little bit more time. Now I like to grind the wings like so until I get to roughly to the edge that I want. Then I use the motion for the sharpening to get even closer to the outline of the fingernail profile here. And now if you want, there are two approaches here. If you continue on with sharpening on this kind of a dry wheel, you will build up heat and it will change the color of your spindle gouge. Now you see me here a few seconds. Now I can dunk it into water, but you have to keep doing this a few seconds. Don't let it get too hot, or you can do it by just grinding it away. It will change the color and everything, but on high-speed steels like M2, M42 and stuff like that, it doesn't affect the cutting qualities or the durability of the edge if you heat it over. Just don't dunk it when it's super hot and changes color. Don't dunk it into water, that will ruin it. So we have those two approaches. I'll go with the water this time just for the sake of it. So a few seconds into water. So I hope you can see we are getting closer to the outline. There is still a bit more shine on the very edge. Now with this stage I also want to increase the length of the bevel here. Now it's around 40 degrees I would say, and I want to extend it a little bit more, and I'll tell you the final length of the bevel so you can gauge it with your gouges if you want. I don't have the protractor actually broke and it's not that very reliable, so I'll just tell you the length, and if you're using similar type spindle gouge it should be relatively the same. So as you can see, I've extended the length of the bevel, and maybe I extended a little bit more, but that's close enough, and that's the total length is around 12 mil, much like diameter, so half inch around that is quite good, and you can increase it a little bit more if you want. So that's the almost roughing shaping done. A little bit more on the tip. So now you can see that's roughed out, and now we can go to CBN wheel. So now we are at CBN wheel here, and the motion that I like to use, and I'll show you how I manipulate the handle as well, but let me just first show you at the tip here. So find the bevel, and so find this portion first, the bottom portion, and start raising the handle up a little bit, like so. And when you are close, now again, remember we are still, you can see the outline even from this distance, so we still have a lot still to remove. Well, it's not very much, but you get the idea. So find the bevel, and what I do is I rotate it in my hand, so left, right. So don't raise it or drop, so just rotate it to left, right. Again, just left, right. And with your left hand you keep the distance the same on the wheel, so it doesn't drop or raise. That will change the angle of the bevel. Now, like I said, I still have a little bit more to remove, so I'm grinding like this a little bit more. Now, important for me at least is when to stop when you rotate it. Now you can go obviously all the way like this to the left and right, but what I like to do, if this is flute now facing 12 o'clock, what I like to do, I like to stop at, let's say, 2 o'clock and here around 10 o'clock. So don't go closing the flute at 3 o'clock and don't close the flute on the left to 9 o'clock. So 10, 2, that's your further out position. Now you can rotate it and get the edge, the profile that you want, but what I like to do to get a little bit longer wings is just drop the handle when I'm at that, let's say, 2 o'clock position here. Then I just drop the handle a little bit, keeping the same distance up and down, but just dropping the handle a little bit further down. We removed most of the excess metal on the edge, so again now we get the sort of a final grind, and this is only done the first time. Any sharpening after that is just really quick touch up. And so again, find the bevel, rotate it to the left, to the right, and as I go to the 2 o'clock, I drop the handle a little bit down, bring the handle up, rotate it backwards to 10 o'clock and drop the handle down, bring it back up, go to the other side and drop the handle down. Now at this stage this is quite sharp and ready to be used. It doesn't look that great on the bevel. You can see multi-facets, although I have a nice single facet pretty much all the way around the top edge, which is what I'm after. So this is now quite usable, and we can now go to the to the lathe, and we can test this out. So I have a piece of pine here and just put that between the centers. Tighten up a little bit and we can round this blank with a spindle gouge if you want. So this is our freshly sharpened spindle gouge. I changed the camera angle so you can see a little bit better. Make it nice and clean. And let's say you want to make a big bead. Or a coal, let's say. Or a smaller one here, let's say. Bring it here. You can see the surface. So that's nice and clean details. So that's sharpening spindle gouge the easy way without any jigs, and I believe anybody can do it. It's just motion left to right to rotate it, and when you are at 10 o'clock, drop the handle a little bit down so you get a little bit longer wings here, or when you are at 2 o'clock position, drop the handle again to get on the right side a little bit longer wings. So that's my approach on sharpening a spindle gouge.